choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. We said yesterday we would be back in studio for our Wednesday show. Well, not exactly true. What happened was storm comes through yesterday, and we were without power for a little bit last night at the station. And so we needed to be live this morning. And you know who steps up once again? Our very good friends here at Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison. Jonathan Gorey and company stepping up huge this morning for us as we are live on the road from Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison. If there's a place where we need to be for breakfast, if there's a place we need to be, this is where we were going to be. This was not a planned visit for us this morning. This was a out of necessity visit, but late last night, power does come back on, everything gets fixed, and we were good. But it was like all the wheels were in motion for us to be here. So we are here inside Metro Diner. Big thank you to Talent Heating and Air for helping us stay cool this morning throughout the summer. 256-503-4490, talenthvac.com, tune-ups, ductwork, service repair, indoor air quality, system installation. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, give them a call, please, 256-503-4490. We mentioned yesterday that the Big Ten and ACC Media Days were ongoing yesterday. 31 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes, and 38 seconds away from the start of the college football season. And Drew, it was almost like there were shots fired yesterday at the Southeastern Conference from both media days, the Big Ten and the ACC.
Yep, yeah, there was. Kurt Cignetti was obviously drunk.
and Kurt Cignetti is where we start. There was a lot of Indiana took a lot of heat for canceling a home and away series with Virginia.
Well, see, they were trying, they were trying to play an FCS school, I'm sure.
Yes.
They were trying to play Wofford.
Yes, they basically and so Kurt Cignetti, he took a lot of heat when it happened,
and he should.
And yesterday at Big Ten Media Days, a reporter asked Kurt Cignetti, "Hey, you took Virginia off the schedule,
and they suck anyway."
And here is Cignetti's response to taking Virginia off the schedule.
And look, here's the bottom line, okay? We picked up an extra home game, and we play 9 conference games. You know, the 2 best conferences in college football, any football guy that's objective will tell you, is the Big Ten and the SEC, all right? 12 of the 16 SEC teams play 3 G5 or an FCS game. 12 of those teams play 36 games, 29 G5 games, and 7 FCS games. and one less conference game. All right? So we figured we'd just adopt SEC scheduling philosophy. You know, some people don't like it. I'm more focused in on those 9 conference games. You know, not only do we want to play 9 conference games, okay, and have the 4-4 championship, the playoff format, okay?
It's not going to happen.
We want to have play-in games
Not going
to
happen.
decide who plays in those playoffs.
Not going
You know,
to
championship weekend, let's play 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5.
Jack and Diane.
You want to decide that on the field, make sure everybody's strength of schedule is what it needs to be?
Not going to happen.
Let's make everybody play 9 conference games, and on championship weekend,
You'll be
3
watching.
will play 6, 4 will play 5. And there's still room for another at large.
Like I said, man.
A bit outside.
Exactly.
Kurt Signetti. Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Look, man, they don't play anybody. I'll go ahead and say it. They had a really good team last year and a good year.
Yes.
If they played in the SEC, Vandy would have beaten them, and they wouldn't even have gotten into the playoff. They would have been lucky to be 7-6, okay? The Big Ten is the second best league. I don't give a damn if they've won the last 2 national championships.
Oh, they were proud of that.
They're not as good as the SEC. They're not as deep as the SEC. They'll never be as deep as the SEC. Bert couldn't cut it in our league. Bert got fired and is now at Illinois playing in front of 2 people, a dog in a river. Okay? He got run out of town on a rail. Arkansas and Illinois are very similar. Matter of fact, Arkansas has more tradition and more resources. He couldn't win enough. Signetti was gone from Alabama in 2 years. You want to know why?
Why?
He took an FCS job, but Saban needed to upgrade. Let's just put it that way. He was good friends with his father and knew the family, but Alabama didn't miss Kirk Signetti. All right?
There were Alabama fans that thought after last year, midway through the year, that he would be he should have been, because they should have looked at him instead of Kalen DeBoer last year. Oh, they were.
I know, but that's
were.
what people do when they don't know football. I mean, Signetti is a good football coach. Is he great? No. Would Kalen DeBoer wipe the floor with his ass? Yes, he would. I mean, I'm sorry.
No,
Indiana,
don't
worry
apologize.
about DeVries and winning basketball games and making a bowl.
Yeah.
You had your one shining moment, you knew, and it's over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Indiana is not a football school. It will never be a football school. They will never make the playoff consistently. All that was last year was a perfect storm. The storm blew over like last night, and the power gets restored, and then sanity gets restored, and we know what's going to happen. It's going to be a 5-11 format. They're all bloviating. That's all it is.
So that was the biggest takeaway also. I mean, Kurt Signetti was a huge takeaway, firing shots at the Southeastern Conference yesterday. The other thing coming out of the Big Ten Media Days was the fact that, remember, at the SEC Media Days, and we even talked to Greg Sankey. He is adamant. He really wants, and he said no other conference. He said to us, no other conference is going to basically hold our feet by the fire and tell us what to do. They want the 5. They want the 5-1-1.
They want the 5-11.
They want the 5-11
format. That is what Sankey is in favor of.
The Big Ten. Every coach yesterday, I swear it was a directive.
Everybody but the Big Ten wants that.
Yes. Okay. The Big Ten, it was almost like every coach at the Big Ten was told to say, we want the 4-4 model. We want the 4-4, the 4 automatic qualifier
Tony Petitti
models.
wouldn't just tell him to say that, would he?
But I'm just saying, it felt like every coach up there was told to say, this is what we want. This is what we want. It was the exact same thing. It's almost like they got their marching orders from their commissioner and was told to say, this is what we want, because nobody wants what the SEC, the Big Ten and the SEC
of college
right
football,
now.
not just the SEC.
Right.
Everybody else wants that as well.
The Big Ten and the SEC are they are in completely different rooms right now when it comes to the playoffs.
Well, again, what I like about Greg Sankey is the tortoise and the hare. slow and steady wins the race. The fastest doesn't always win it.
Will he win this race?
Yeah, he's won all the others.
I know, but will
if
he
it
win
wasn't
this
for
one?
Sankey, we don't even have a 2020 season. Kevin Warren was too busy listening to everything Dr. Dumbass said, and he thought people were going to die on the field, so he canceled everything. Then when he realized what a complete and utter moron he was, they started in November, and then we know what happened to Ohio State. They were gone till November. They played Alabama, and they were gone till November because they're still chasing Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith didn't even play most of the second half and still set records because Lurch was trying to guard him man-to-man, who tried to take out Najee Harris's knee because he was a dirty piece of trash in the first half. Yes, I don't ever forget these things.
I never doubted you. By the way, Indiana's schedule, in case you are wondering, they open up with 3 powerhouse games.
I can't wait to hear this.
3 powerhouse games. Yeah. And I mean, folks, these are going to set the networks on fire.
Is John Cougar going to buy the stadium out so the people will come?
John Cougar may be the only one there. He may not even show up.
Give away cigarettes?
Old Dominion.
Wow.
Kennesaw State.
And there you go.
And Indiana State.
That'd be pretty good if it was basketball, but football, that's horrendous.
Those are the 3 games out of the gate. Now he talks about they're adopting the SEC schedule. So let's just cruise. Let's just type in Alabama just for the kicks of it, right? The first 3 games for Alabama out of the gate: Florida State, Louisiana Monroe, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Those are the 4 games out of the gate for Alabama. If you want to look at Auburn's schedule, we're just doing this because Curt Cignetti said everybody in the SEC is doing this. Auburn's schedule, first 4 out of the gates: Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama, and Oklahoma. I mean, you can say he has a little bit of a point, but
he doesn't. I mean, like I said when I quoted the X post yesterday, tweet, whatever the hell you want to call it today.
Yeah,
Epic coach. I mean, this is, and I don't dislike Curt Cignetti. He did a good job at Alabama, even though he was kind of jettisoned. But he's done a really good job climbing up the head coaching ranks. It's late in on the back end of his career, but he gets the shot to be a Power 4 head coach at Indiana. He has a hell of a first year, but still, I'm sorry. It's just they're not playing the same level of football. And when you saw them play Ohio State, they got whacked. Right. And when you saw them play Notre Dame, they got whacked. They did beat Michigan, okay? That was their best win. I think they won by 5, all right? But I'm sorry, if you watch them play, I don't even think they probably maybe would have been a bowl team out of the SEC, but they sure as hell would not have been in the playoff. No shot. They're losing at least 4, if not 5 games, okay? Period, end of story. And I think Vanderbilt was better than them. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that. Diego and the boys were better than Indiana. But it's just who Indiana played. They played in the lower half of the Big Ten is not good.
Well,
all right.
Oh my goodness, we've got a lot to get into. I mean, we mentioned the Big Ten and ACC media days taking shots at the SEC. This is just the Big Ten side. Okay, we haven't even touched what the ACC did yesterday, but I smell bacon.
We do, and I've got a very prominent member of the media that's listening to our show that I think that wants to join us at 7:30. I sort of unplanned because of all this conversation we're having about Curt Cignetti and the Big Ten. So we may be adding a guest at the last minute. Our guests were slated to join us in the second hour, but he's driving to Birmingham, and I guess he's like me. He just is amazed at the Big Ten logic.
Well, the Big Ten logic it's crazy. But you knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen because the SEC had their spring meetings and they basically just came out swinging at everything. They had SEC media days. They got their 4 days. The SEC had their 4 days in the sun. They, stood on their grandstand, the pulpit, so to be it, and they said what they had to say. You knew this was coming from the Big Ten, and it came in a big way yesterday. We got to get a break in. When we come back, Rhett Lashley, SMU head coach. He talked about, he had a couple quotes about the SEC. We'll read those quotes. And what did Rhett Lashley say about the ACC and how good the ACC is? Oh, my goodness. We've just only begun. It's Talking Ball live from our favorite place, Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
I'm here with our good friend, John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company, NMLS, number 3029.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on, rocketed, left center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Montanelli at first. He's on his way to second, and he'll pull in. There's the first ever cycle in Trash Pandas history.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
So I'll be gone when 1, 2, till 1, 2. November. Said I'll be gone till November. Gone till November.
How many Big Ten teams? You know what, though? How many ACC teams will be gone till November?
Put it this way in football, man. If Michigan and Ohio State decided they were going to be leaving, then they might as well just combine the Pac-12, which is, of course, the where, and then combine them with the Big Ten, because that's all the football they got right now.
Well, you have a name for the ACC, right?
Well, besides Penn State, and Penn State's not an original Big Ten member.
No, they are. Well, no, they're not, but they've been in long enough now to where I almost forget sometimes that they were not part of it because they've been in there a while.
I mean, but that was not that was a natural fit.
It kind of was. It really was.
Nebraska, you would have thought would have fit, but it's been a disaster.
Right. Rutgers, Maryland. I don't like that. But the ACC, I mentioned Rhett Lashley, right?
Yeah.
So Rhett Lashley gets up to the podium yesterday, and we're going to hear from Rhett Lashley how he talked about the ACC, but he also took a shot at the SEC as well. And he says, and I quote, "The SEC has had the same 6 schools win the championship since 1964. Not a single one has been different since 1964. That's top heavy to me. That's not depth."
6. How many's won it from the ACC?
Oh, how many?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you asked that question.
Because that's the Bush League he's in. That's the Bush Leagues, remember?
Because Rhett Lashley says just that right here. Here's Rhett Lashley.
Conferences.
It's got to load up there. Come on, Rhett.
Somebody
boy.
may have turned his microphone off.
Well, the internet somehow is moving slow here.
We got struck by lightning yesterday.
Since 1990. All the teams that have won a national championships in 1990 are either in the ACC, the SEC, or the Big Ten. Since I mentioned in the last 15 years, the second most, the 3 with the Big Ten. I don't know why that's not talked about more. We have national brands. We've won championships. The revenue is almost double who's fourth. Our own network, the competition, the investment. I just think it speaks for itself. And so most people want to see things decided on the field, so let's let it happen that way. I don't think there's any question that if it stayed at 12, we're every year a multi-bid league. I mean, Miami should have been last year at 10-2. There's no question they were one of the top 12 teams in America. But it does get tough, and especially when you have a human committee making decisions. Again, it's a hard job. It's set up for failure. They're great people. They do the best they can. The NFL doesn't do that. NBA doesn't do that. High school football doesn't do that. FIFA World Cup. Let's take that out of it and let it be decided on the field with a different process, in my opinion. But when it comes to the ACC, I think the experience and the results speak for itself.
It certainly does. Because Scott, if Mo, Larry, Curly, and Shemp hadn't have been officiating the Virginia Tech Miami game, I think Virginia Tech would have won, and Miami wouldn't even have had a chance in hell then. Okay, I'm sorry, but I don't know what reefer he's smoking, but the best response that I heard from Seth Emerson of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on the Feinbaum show that we carry each and every day is that let's save the answer to that question from Rhett Lashley when he's coaching in the SEC next year and see if he still has the same opinion of what he just said. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only national championship since the 68 or whatever the hell number you said was Florida State and Clemson. I think they're the only 2 teams that have won it right
64,
in the ACC.
1964, right? Yes. He says the SEC has had the same 6 schools.
And Florida State didn't join until the 90s, but I'm just saying because Clemson's won 3.
Yes.
They've won it, Dabo's won 2 in 16 and 18, and then they won it under Danny Ford in 81. And I don't think anybody else has won it. You can't claim Notre Dame. They're an independent, bruh. That doesn't
Florida
work.
State won in 13.
And in 13, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm looking to see. Yeah, it's
Florida
not
State,
a lot.
They won in 93, 99, and 13. And then, like I said, Clemson's won 3.
So the
in
ACC
81,
has
16,
won,
and 18.
The ACC The SEC has won more.
Remember.
The SEC has won more in this stretch than the ACC has pretty much all one ever. The ACC claims 8 football national championships. Clemson has won 2 of those in 16 and 18.
They also won in 81.
Yeah.
I mean, under Danny Ford.
But that's it. I mean, we're talking.
That's
yeah.
it. That's all they've won.
Yes.
I mean, good Lord. And then SMU won the death penalty. Before NIL.
Yes.
And still couldn't win a
So
championship.
here are your Maryland won it in 53.
Okay, whatever. That's 53.
Clemson won it in 81.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech won it in 90.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That was a co. with
they won the coaches title. That was it. They did not win the AP.
They won, yeah. So I forgot about them. Let me apologize to Bobby Ross, Tom Johnson from Huntsville High, all those cats.
Yes.
They were really good. That's the one I forgot. Okay, I will own that. I will fall on the sword for that. So they did win one with Georgia Tech.
Florida State won it in 93 and 99.
Yeah.
And 2013.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, Georgia Tech should have been just the national. That was terrible. They I think they tied a game. They didn't lose a game at all. They should have been national champs over Colorado. Love Bill McCartney. May he rest in peace. But Georgia Tech should have won the national championship. That was pathetic.
And then Clemson, 16
outright.
and 18. Yeah. Let's go out to the phone lines. Richard is with us this morning. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Yeah, I was going to say Tech on there. One thing, I saw a couple of articles kind of backing up the Big Ten, but they're being selective. Like they're just showing like 3 of Auburn's games, 3 of Kentucky's games. They're not showing all 4, because they're not showing, that Kentucky plays Louisville. They're not showing Florida plays Florida State. They're not showing Georgia plays Georgia Tech. They're basically showing the other 3 games on all the teams. They're not showing all 4. And of course, Alabama's not on any of these lists of when they're, kind of complaining about, the SEC playing no one. But like I said, they're kind of being selective because you have, of course they don't show South Carolina playing Clemson.
Right. No, and people were quick yesterday. People were quick to look at the SEC and pick maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of the SEC teams. They were quick to point out the fact that Georgia plays Austin Peay, Marshall, and Charlotte. Texas A&M plays UTSA.
But see, they leave off Georgia Tech, though. So they're not showing. Like I said, they left off, of course, from South Carolina. They leave off Clemson.
Right.
But they leave off Florida State because that defeats their talking point.
Right. Completely.
And they made a fact to say that Arkansas plays Alabama A&M, Arkansas State, and Memphis. Vanderbilt plays Charleston Southern, Georgia State, and Utah State. Kentucky plays Toledo, Eastern Michigan, and Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, Mississippi State let us down last year. How in the hell can you just get thrashed by Toledo?
Until you get some sort of strength of schedule. Because, a funny thing is in basketball, Alabama's kind of changed in the last few years in basketball. But usually by the 4 conference play starts, you know what team usually is number 1 in strength of schedule? A couple of SWAC teams.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Because they play a lot of the non-conference. Yeah, a lot of the guarantees.
Every game on the road, and they're making money.
Right.
When conference play starts, you'll have a Big Ten or an SEC team, pretty much all in the top, maybe a Big 12, all in the top, 10 by the end of the year. But if you look at December 15th, it's like Jackson State.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, Richard.
Number 1, and that's the thing is unless you look at the entire schedule, just like Drew was saying, playing at Northwestern, or even Indiana or Purdue is totally different than playing at Ole Miss.
Yeah, it is completely.
Or even Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they don't want to look at the entire body of work. They just want to pick and choose, to prove their argument. Which, like I said, if you look at South Carolina's entire schedule, or even the 4 games, if you're, because the ACC thing doesn't falls apart with, South Carolina playing Clemson every year. Got a question on the SEC media days. I guess the SEC determines which teams talking days?
They do. They give you the order months in advance.
Yeah, and in the conference itself, what they usually do is they kind of ask a lot of the veteran coaches, the older coaches that have been in the league. They kind of go down the line and say, okay, do you have a preference of what day you would like to be on, time-wise you would like to be on? Because like Auburn, for instance, Auburn held their ambush tour the day before they appeared in Atlanta. Okay. So it worked out well for them they had their ambush tour the day before, and then Hugh Freeze spoke there in Atlanta. So they were able to tie everything into one. They kind of try to guide a little bit with the coaches, morning or night. Do you prefer? Now, they always don't work, but they try to kind of do it a little bit.
I was just wondering, because you guys always say on the last day, everybody leaves, and they usually have like Vanderbilt and Kentucky on there. But I'm just wondering, if you had, Florida on the last day, or even Alabama on the last flight, if their goal is to kind of keep people around, why they wouldn't do that, because they kind of, was it Tuesday was really loaded up and Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I mean, both those were really loaded up. Those days were. You're right, Richard. I
was just, wondering. I mean, and it's not like attendance. I mean, because I'm sure you guys, a handful, didn't stay the whole time like you guys did.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Coach Drink, he kind of shot some adrenaline into the last day if you were in the main room, I mean, there was about a third of the people left by that last day.
Yeah.
And then I love the guy, but Dead Man Walking Pittman, he got a ton of questions, even though there wasn't a ton of people in there, because I thought I'd be able to get a question in. Didn't happen.
Right.
See you guys later then.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks, Richard.
Appreciate that. Good points.
All right, 7:30. Let's get a break in. Oh, my goodness. The coffee, the bacon, the hash browns.
Keep bending over.
Oh, my goodness. It's permeating through the air. And this is what, folks, this is why I love coming here in the mornings.
Yeah, I think Scott's body's seizing up. He needs some bacon.
I told my wife last night, I said, you know what? Maybe I should throw a curveball today and order French toast instead of pancakes.
Now, that I'd be thinking maybe somebody slipped something into your coffee.
It's hard to go against.
You don't drink coffee.
I don't.
Your
water. It's hard to go against the pancakes, though.
Yeah, he doesn't drink caffeine.
It's hard to go against the pancakes.
It is.
All right.
Scott.
We got to get a break in. Talkin Ball going to roll on next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices climbing into the lower triple digits. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. We only drop into the mid-70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices climbing into the lower triple digits with a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration
do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
With the summer heating up, it's time to cool down, and what better way to do that than enjoy some Handel's homemade ice cream. Handel's ice cream makes each batch by hand using only the best tasting ingredients to serve ice cream lovers in the Tennessee Valley. With 2 locations to serve ice cream lovers along Highway 72 West and 1 in Jones Valley, the #1 ice cream on the planet, according to National Geographic magazine, is just a quick drive and scoop away. It's Handel's ice cream, where the proof is in the scoop.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home doing whatever it is you do. Then, pow! The power goes out. Then what? Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
All right, 7:36 here on a Wednesday morning. We are live from Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison. Oh, my goodness, the breakfast is cooking. The eggs are on, the hash browns, the pancakes, the bacon, the French toast, the griddles, the waffles, the strawberry butter. It's all here. It's all good.
Okay.
We've been here so much now we don't even have to look at the menu. We can just rattle off what you want. Do you want a steak breakfast bowl?
Yeah.
Do you what I mean?
They don't have right now. One of the things that they did put on there for a while that I had a couple times, they did have the hamburger steak and eggs.
Yeah, ooh,
which was pretty good.
Okay, you still can get what is it? The lemon blueberry griddle.
Yeah, lemon blueberry griddles.
Yeah, that's available.
Yeah, no doubt. It's one of the things that they've had on the menu now for the kind of the summer because they have a very good seasonal menu.
Oh, the last time that's right. Tokyo was with us the last time. You were not here.
Yeah, that's what it is. I wasn't here the last time.
You were not here because we came in July when you were gone.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was here the time before that, which I think may have been in May or June. But Steve was sitting in for me when I was on my basketball travels.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So they have the Big Kahuna Burger and the Wisconsin Burger that has like the Wisconsin cheese curds on it.
Did Steve have a Big Kahuna?
No, he did not have a Big Kahuna.
I didn't.
I forget what Tokyo had.
Oh, okay.
I forget what he had. I really do. All right, let's.
The one good thing though, you can have the entire menu all day.
You can have it all day.
That's right.
You got it.
If you want a Big Kahuna Burger at 8:00 in the morning, you can have a Big Kahuna Burger, man. You can do the lowest lane and have
you can have it. Or if you want the Western omelet with no salsa,
I know
hash browns extra crispy with pancakes, you can have that for dinner
makes sense
too.
At 8:00 in the morning. Well, yeah, you can.
You can have it for dinner if you want.
Yeah. No.
It's totally up to you.
Because we know, like, the latest Superman is out right now.
You know what? I have not heard good reviews about that movie.
I went to the one with, was it Brandon Roth? Is that the guy?
Yes.
Okay, that's the last one I went to. And so, and I think I did see the Superman Batman movie with Ben Affleck, all that stuff. But but I did not, I have not seen this one. I haven't really been motivated to see it. I just keep having Christopher Reeve in my head going into the diner and ordering Lois Lane a chili dog at 9:30 in the morning.
And then he comes back to that diner at the end and has to spin the bad guy on the seat.
Yeah, and he spins the bad guy on the seat and sends him down the bar and into the
street or whatever.
No, it wasn't into the street. It was into the whatever ping pong machine.
Oh, that's right. Oh, the pinball machine.
Pinball machine. They don't really have them anymore.
Is that what the SEC should do to the Big Ten?
Well, pretty much that was Signetti going into the pinball machine.
Well, our next guest should be able to help us fill in a little bit more on that. Maybe he can. We need to get Ryan Fowler's thoughts.
This is an impromptu guest, as
we
he
need
is
to get
on the road right now. Ryan C. Fowler of The Game, the longest-running radio show in the City of Champions in Tuscaloosa for Tide 109. He is now joining us as we've been talking about Kirk Signetti and the Big Ten and scheduling strength this morning on the show. Good morning, Ryan.
Yeah, I want to cry just for a couple of minutes, man. You guys talking about breakfast. Okay, I got to head to this doctor's appointment. Okay, I forget about the Big Ten. I mean, y'all went through that menu right there a couple of seconds ago. I'm trying to think if I can make it to Huntsville, eat, and then make it back to the doctor's office in Birmingham. Y'all rolled out a menu there that would make anybody hungry.
It makes us hungry sitting here for 2 hours having to do the smell of bacon and sausage cooking.
Scott's bending over like his body's locking up.
Eat on the air. It's part of the.
Man,
I do.
Scott can eat on the air. I can't do it. I can drink and not alcohol.
Well, a lot of people thinks he drinks alcohol during the show.
I was going to say.
But no, going back to what you guys were asking me with Kirk Signetti there from Indiana, surely we're not comparing his schedule with the SEC, right? You look back and I think about this. As Steve Spurrier famously labeled talking season, and sometimes, you get diarrhea of the mouth, and that's what this is a case of. It literally is. Sometimes you get up there and you probably just say things you really don't believe. And I look at it and I think about, this Big Ten SEC rival. And, we talked about it last week at SEC Media Days. The SEC needs to win a championship, regardless of which team it is. If it's Texas, Georgia, if it's LSU, if it's Alabama. I can't think of anybody else that might be in that conversation. But somebody's got to win one, because this ego up there, it's always been large. Even when they didn't win it, they would try to tell us how great the academics are. We're an academic, we're academics. We only do things the right way up here. The SEC needs to keep them in check. They're going to have to. They've got to win one, because, Lord knows if they win 3 in a row, this type of ego moves, we're going to continue. Stupid comments from stupid people.
It's just insane to me.
Let me. He gets it. Brett Lashley, I think, said something else too. Pretty stupid.
Yeah, we talked about that. He said basically, the SEC, the same teams have won it since 1964.
Only 6 of them.
Only 6 of them. He's like, it's not depth. He said the SEC doesn't have depth. They, it's the same teams winning it every year.
Yeah, and anyway, but it's. I get it now, what we're doing. We're trying to please the committee. We're trying to, and what these guys are doing is they're trying to credit the committee. Like, you did it right. Let me tap you on the back. You did a good job. You did a good job. That's what these guys are doing. And to me, I go back, help me out with the guest. But somebody last week said it, and it said, would you take Robert Kraft? It was Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's the one who said it. He said, would you ask Robert Kraft to select the Miami Dolphins into the NFL playoffs? Because that's what we're doing. We're asking Robert Kraft to select
on the committee.
Miami Dolphins on the committee to be in the college football playoffs. Lane Kiffin has never said anything more truer than that statement right there, because it's dead on the money. We're asking, I'll tell you a great example. I know this is really went around the fence, but go to Miami of Ohio. Last year, Alabama stole Graham Nicholson. And see, this is why it's so important now, because players are moving. There are some disgruntled people. Graham Nicholson comes from Miami of Ohio. The coach comes out, accuses Kalen DeBoer and the coaching staff of stealing their player, right? Their kicker, probably the best player, the Lou Groza Award winner. They bring him to Tuscaloosa. He's the kicker. Guess who's on the committee last year?
Same coach.
The athletic director from Miami of Ohio. He's on the committee. He's on the committee. Now, think about this. His bitterness, is he going to vote for Alabama? Is he going to remove, that ball cap that they do, the unbiased? That answer is no, because he watched his kicker, the best player they've had for some time, leave and go to a bigger university. You're putting, and I don't blame the people on the committee, because, I did it last week with Stephen West. What's the best radio station in the state of Alabama? You're going to see 97.7 The Zone. I'm going to say Tide 100.9 because we work for these guys. It's not about the people. It's about the design of the committee. The methodology is screwed up. And I told the college football playoff director last week to his face, I said, you got to increase the sample size. You can't have 13 members of the committee, 13-member committee selecting college football and not expect bias. You have to calculate it in. And you don't do it with a 13-member committee. It's unfair to those individuals that we ask that responsibility. Anyway, I know we went around the world to answer that question, but this college football committee always gets me on my soapbox.
Do we take the human element out of it at all?
Wouldn't bother me. Because I trust an algorithm more than I do a human brain. I know a human brain designs the algorithm, but tell coaches how they're judged. Give them some type of standard formula. And that's the thing. Scott, if you put more, let's say you put the AP poll in, you go back to the old BCS formula and you allow the metrics to speak for itself, then you have all the AP voters, you have all the coaches voting in the USA Today coaches poll or the Harris poll or the Legends poll, and then you plug in all this analytical stuff. And to me, you can reduce your bias there because you've increased your sample size. You've moved, to another, group of people. But 13 members in a room pretending to be unbiased who work for athletic departments across the country, you've asked them to do something that's very unfair. And I know they do it for service because it's kind of it's a launching pad for their career. It's a good credential, but I don't think it's fair to the individual. I think the methodology is so awful when you look at the statistical analysis form of this committee.
Well, and we're talking to Ryan Fowler, Tide 109. We're talking, the offseason of college football, the future of the SEC. I said this earlier in the show. I want to get your thoughts. I know you spoke with Greg Sankey. You heard from Commissioner Sankey in Atlanta like we did. Slow and steady wins the race most of the time. He was very measured in how he handled COVID. He saved college football in many ways. To me, he's doing the same thing with this, what the future of the playoff and how you handle it going forward is, he's sort of just laying in the weeds, letting everybody talk, but then formulating his plan. What do you think about Commissioner Sankey's approach to this next step in the evolution of college football?
This is going to sound political because in kind of a way it is. It's the art of the negotiation by Donald Trump.
There you go.
It really is. If you look at what Greg Sankey is doing, it's kind of a playbook out of that, right? It's the same way the president's handling tariffs right now. When you know that you've got a lot of the leverage like Greg Sankey has, you don't have to rush because they need you to play ball. They need you to jump onto this. I go back and I would love to advocate. He said, we're okay with just staying at 12 teams. I'm comfortable staying at 12 teams, guys. Guys, have we ever woke up and just realized the length that we will start practice next Tuesday, players report, Wednesday, first day of practice, and let's say whomever. And I'm talking about all the teams. If you're one of those last two teams standing, you'll be playing on January the 20th. That is a long season for college athletes. And I know we're paying and we're throwing this money and revenue share and all these different things. But when you step back and you look at it, I don't know if we need to go because The reason we're at 12 and didn't stop at 8 is because the SEC didn't get their way, right? I mean, he wanted 8, but I think he wanted the best 8,
Right,
regardless
exactly.
of affiliation. And so we went to 12 to compromise. And in a lot of ways, Greg Sankey kind of got played. I mean, he went along to get along, and it ended up backfiring on his league. So when you look at Greg Sankey now, which may be the best thing that ever happened to the SEC, getting the limitations last year, because he's not going to be flexible this year. He for the long term, he's going, okay, this 1 year sample size. No, I'm not going to do this. So I love what Greg Sankey's doing, and like I said, it wouldn't bother me a bit if they stayed at just 12 teams. I don't even know if we need 12. I mean, there's teams that we're going to say. The only thing that I'll argue with 12 is I think the new checkbox of success is going to the playoffs. For these big teams, is you check the box. It's kind of like the NFL. They went to the playoffs. Boom, you check that box. And 12 teams can look at you and say, we had success in 2024 because we went to the playoffs. The others, you feel like the Brahma. Because think about it. If Kalen DeBoer goes to the playoffs this year, last year, think about the different offseason topic we would be. That's the new checkbox. It's going to the playoffs. You check that box. And so because there's so much parity in college football, I like that part of 12 on that premise alone.
Well, great stuff, Ryan. It's an impromptu conversation, but a great one. It's always great to have you back on in your native North Alabama. I know you're going to have a show later today from 2 to 6 on Tide 109 The Game.
I'm actually playing golf with Hugh Freeze this afternoon. So,
oh, my goodness.
We're going to be replaying last week's show at FCC Media Days, but I'm playing golf in Birmingham with Hugh, and I'll let you guys know how he plays. And always appreciate the opportunity.
All right, man.
Thanks,
you,
Ryan. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to.
I would pay to see some video of that if Ryan were playing golf with Hugh Freeze.
We got to wrap up hour 1 coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN. The Zone. Short time left here in hour number 1. We've been live all morning from Metro Diner along Highway 72 here in Madison. Let's pick up the phones real fast and let's get Johnny on his cell with us. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, guys. I think it's time that college football adopts the same model as college basketball. Quad 1 wins, quad 2 wins, quad 3 wins, quad 4. What's a good – I mean, we've got to bring in strength of record. You've got to bring in strength of schedule. And
No
if
doubt.
they adopt the same kind of model, I mean, the basketball gets it right. If you look at their Final Four, you look at their those guys, their top 8 are solid. And that's what football needs. We don't – I mean – you don't need a bunch of men bumping around in a room. You need some metrics out there that mean something. And I think it's high time that the football program adopts the same model as basketball, because basketball's got it right. And whether it's 12 or 16, the model works.
Well, I think it would be funny if through all of this, when the dust settles, we go back. We expand it to 16 teams, but the model is exactly what the BCS used. Little bit human, little bit of computer involvement.
I think you're telling me at least 5 SEC teams will be in.
Hey, I think it would be funny if that's how, because look, the BCS, I think the thing with the BCS is it was only 2 teams.
Yeah.
But if you go back and you do the BCS model and you expand it to 16, it works.
It works.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, how many quad 1 wins last year would SMU have? Would Indiana have last year? That's my point.
Is it possible to be negative?
If you don't, I mean, I don't care that Signetti, they talk about blah, 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 the talking season, as they said, but they had 0 quality wins. SMU had 0 quality wins. I mean, Arizona State didn't have many, but I mean, they still had a terrific run. All I'm getting at is that you need to have some kind of metrics out there that measures who you play, where you play them. Look, if you look at, I'll close with this stat. Last year, if you are an SEC school playing a team on the road at night, you had a 17% chance of leaving that stadium with a W, and that was league-wide.
Yeah. No doubt. Johnny,
true,
thanks. Great point there. Good phone call.
Absolutely. Thank you for holding.
If you wanted to look at Indiana's quality, best win last year, it was either Michigan, Washington, or UCLA.
Well, good God almighty. We know which one it was. It was Michigan. And that was by 5. I mean, give me UCLA.
I'm just saying.
Who was the other one?
Sure the hell wasn't Charlotte.
No,
Northwestern.
Who'd you say? UCLA and who?
I said Michigan, Washington.
Washington? Kalen DeBoer, Washington.
I'm trying to find a win.
This is Jed Fish.
Okay, was
Fishing
it Florida?
For compliments.
It could. Florida International, Western Illinois, Charlotte, Maryland, Michigan State, Purdue.
Oh, Purdue. Oof.
I'm trying to find a quality win on the schedule.
You realize who the Purdue head coach is now, right?
I do.
He couldn't cut it in the SEC. Barry Odom.
Well, now he and Burt can reminisce about the greatest conference, right?
Yeah, all the rejects go to the Big Ten. And if Ryan,
is that like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where all the misfit toys go on misfit?
And if Ryan Day didn't beat Tennessee, his ass would be out. And then maybe Nico Iamale Moneybags might have still been at Tennessee. Who knows? Maybe they would have given him raise.
Misfit Island, put all the coaches there.
Thank you to Ryan Fowler for the impromptu interview.
Oh,
thank you for the calls.
758.
Good call, Johnny. Good call, Richard.
Bacon, waffles, French toast, pancakes. We're live from Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Denny Hamlin opens as a plus 450 favorite to win the Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this week. Kyle Larson plus 550, Brian Blaney plus 750, William Byron 8-1, Chase Elliott plus 850. The Braves close their series of the San Francisco Giants today at Truist Park. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Braves. He's an $1.76 favorite against winless Justin Verlander, who's 0-8 with a 4.99 earned run average. He's a $1.44 underdog. 8.5 over the total at Truist Park today in Atlanta. Yesterday, the Giants beat the Braves 9-0. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now. 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. You know what? They're dedicated to providing care that improves lives.
Yes, they are.
They're the official medical providers of the UAH Chargers, which, by the way, you're going to be able to hear once again right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, this coming basketball season. They're the official medical providers of the Rocket City Trash Pandas, which, by the way, you can hear each and every night except for Monday nights because they don't play on Mondays on Talk Radio WZZ.
And are you saying they saved our asses last night?
Well, last night was Tuesday.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They did actually. Yes. Because Tokyo, he had to Tokyo drifted in last night with no power. He was
improvised.
Yes, and so he was able to get towards the end the Trash Pandas over the air and get them on. And we apologize. When the power goes out, we go out.
All we can do, man.
Yeah, so we were able to get something there. But I mean,
Brian,
but yes,
he sent us a picture of the power pole. It was,
it's kind of catawampus. I don't know how that happened.
No, I haven't heard catawampus in a while, but that's a good term.
It's a real word, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway. So last night we apologized for all the technical difficulties with the power going. That storm came in. When it came in, it rained. Yeah. I mean, it was coming down.
It didn't rain as hard as my condo, but it was coming down. I could hear the thunder.
Goodness.
Then I get out on the road and I have no service. I mean, my phone's all screwed up. I can't get an app to work, so I'm cussing. But things like that happen.
Yeah, it does.
Not cussing on the air, though.
So anyway, we you know what? We went over the SEC order of finish.
Right.
And based on last season's results and based on who they have coming back, Diego Pavia. Look, he may be one of the best tight ends, if not the best tight end in the SEC. Vanderbilt Commodores not picked to finish last in the SEC. And so I guess now – It's interesting because remember going into last year, it was, can Vanderbilt win a conference game? Yeah. Are they going to be able to win a conference game? Now it's, can they duplicate some of the success they had last year? And can they translate that into 2 good years? Because we haven't had that since James Franklin was there. Mm-hmm. Can they duplicate that? And can they handle now playing with expectations not being – going in, just people thinking it's just Vanderbilt?
Well, no, I mean, this is what Clark Lee was trying to do, make them a very competitive program. They were very competitive last year, got the biggest win in school history. I was there with our next guest as Vanderbilt won at 40-35, went on to win a bowl game. Diego Pavia was one of the rock stars of SEC Media Days. And this next guest works with Vandy 247 and Chris Lee. He covers football, does a great job. Also part of the George Plaster Show, been a part of that show. But it was great to see him in Atlanta. And this will be his first time as a guest on our show, and we're looking forward to it. But we're going to welcome Billy Derrick to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as Scott and I are here live at Metro Diner on Highway 72. But, Billy, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Drew. Appreciate you guys having me on. Y'all are talking about power issues, and as a producer
yes.
of a daily show, I know what that's like. As a producer, the host may not have to deal with as much as the producer does. I know you guys deal with a lot of that as well. But man, that's I don't envy you guys. And you're talking about all the rain. We have had more rain in the last 2-3 months in Nashville than I've ever seen. It's been unbelievable.
Yes.
Well, there was one month. I think the month of June here in Huntsville, we were like 7 inches above or 4 inches above our normal amount of rainfall for 1 month. Just crazy.
There were areas of the state of Alabama that probably had already surpassed their rain for the entire last year.
Yeah.
Just a month and a half. So, Billy, but we wanted to talk with you about Vanderbilt football, preview fall camp. But how was it taking it all in? Vanderbilt, a different vibe and feel around the program, headed in to this season with it and an unexpected extra year now for Diego Pavia.
Yeah, last week was, and it was Monday. That was Vanderbilt's day. I can't remember the last time that has happened. Typically, Vanderbilt is on Wednesday or Thursday, and they're kind of an afterthought. Not this year. Diego Pavia was really one of the stars of Media Day. And, this is a year where you've got Arch Manning, you've got other stars out there, but it just kind of works out that he's the quarterback of the team that knocked off number 1 Alabama last year, the best win in Vanderbilt history, and he won his legal battle, as you mentioned, and he's back. And so that's not normal. It felt off base a little bit. I was like, this, not that it shouldn't be happening, but we've just never seen it. I think the last time Vanderbilt had this much attention during SEC Media Days was Robbie Caldwell. I think down in Hoover, and all the crazy comments he made that was during his one interim season as Vanderbilt's head coach after Bobby Johnson had left. But yeah, it's exactly what they needed, Drew. We talked about it a little bit last week. Like, when you have a guy like Pavia, anything can happen. You're never out of a play. You're never out of a game. But one thing we have learned, and we learned from last year with this program is that the same hurdles are still there. The margins are still small. You saw that. This was a team last year that was good enough to beat number 1 Alabama, but on a bad day was also bad enough to lose to Georgia State. And that's probably going to be the case again this season. Barkley said that they were as close to 2-10 as they were 10-2 last year with their margins, and that's tough. It's hard to play like that because you say Pavia gets hurt, that's not good, especially early in the season. So that one of their priorities, which I'm sure we'll talk about, was making sure they shored up the offensive line. They feel like they did. They've got a ton of pieces back, and man, it's just fun. It's fun to see this. Guys, and they don't have as exciting of a start to the season. They do get Charleston Southern, then they got to go up to Blacksburg and play a motivated Virginia Tech team, and then at South Carolina. It's a tough start to the season, but welcome to this league.
Well, they probably have. Do they have one of the best tight ends?
Oh, no question.
In the SEC, and I mean, it seems like, and Diego kept talking about the connection with he and Eli during SEC Media Days, how they just kind of feed off each other so much. They know each other so well. That combination kind of caught everybody by storm last year. It's not this year. I mean, everybody's going to be able to game plan around it big time this coming next season.
Yeah, Stowers, I think, you could say he's the best tight end in the country. There's some fun to have him as the best tight end in the country. Ohio State tight end Max McClary has beaten him out on a few lists, but yeah, I think he's absolutely the most proven tight end in the SEC. And there's some other really good ones out there, but his athleticism is pretty freakish. Pavia actually admitted at Media Days that, and who knows how true this is. Pavia is known to don't say lie, but hype up his teammates. He thinks that his teammates are the best players at their position in the country. He also said that at media days. But the thing about Stowers is he was a quarterback. He was recruited to Texas A&M, 4-star guy, and then got hurt and really got knocked down a couple of pegs and went to New Mexico State. Was the quarterback initially there, and then Pavia beat him out. And they got really close there. They built a connection, like you said. And, I think Pavia and Stowers, because Pavia committed to Vanderbilt initially, and then Vandy got Stowers, and we were like, okay, they've got something going here because this could be interesting. And, they get here, they've got an immediate connection. And we didn't know if, we knew when Pavia won the battle, we were like, okay, this probably means Stowers is back, but he could also be a third, maybe second round pick this year. Like he was probably at worst a third round pick this year, guys. And so for him to come back, he's going to be a first round pick as long as he stays healthy. And yeah, the route combos are not very diverse with him. A lot of times, you saw the shuffle passes against Alabama; those were killer. But they used him in some different ways. That almost a flex tight end because he is so athletic. He's not going to run too many post routes and score a 60-yard touchdown, but he'll get you 10 yards on a 3rd and 8. He'll get you a slip screen. They hit him on a couple of slip screens last year that were big for big yardage gains. So yeah, Stowers is a really good player, and I don't think they would be where they are without Stowers. And Stowers' success, you can't have it without Pavia, and you can't have Pavia's success without Stowers. It all hooks up together, just like you have Jerry Kill and Tim Beck and the New Mexico State Commodores per se.
Well, that's a good point. We're talking to Billy Derrick, Vandy 247. And then talk about defensively. Clark Lee, that's where he made his bones. He was at Notre Dame with Brian Kelly. They went to the college football playoff his last year there in 20. He comes to Vanderbilt. He takes over the defense for a while, but now it looks like he'll still have a heavy hand in it, but he's kind of given up control again. What's the outlook defensively? I know one of the mantras they wanted to improve the pass rush.
Absolutely. They really struggled in 2023. They gave up about 35 points a game, nearly 500 yards per game. They couldn't stop anybody. Last year, as you said, Drew, he took over as defensive coordinator. They had 8 starters back coming into last season, and they surprised a lot of people. This wasn't a great defense, but by any stretch of the imagination, but they were opportunistic. The pick 6 early against Alabama is a good example of that. Virginia Tech game, they were very opportunistic. Brandon Fontenette, a guy they got out of TCU, who they originally recruited, has been huge for them. They lose C.J. Taylor and DeRicky Wright, some veteran players, but they like what they have. They're getting a couple of cornerbacks healthy. Martell Height, as you mentioned, is a talented kid. They're not huge up front, but they're rangy. They're long, and they can get after the passer with a guy like a Corday Cinder, and Miles Capers is a really good player as well. And you look at it, Drew, they've got guys back. They've got 8 guys back on the defense last year that, like I said, they weren't extremely elite per se, but man, they really were opportunistic. They forced turnovers when they had to, and that's what matters, right, guys? I mean, there aren't too many dominant defenses anymore if you really think about it. Especially with schools like Georgia and Alabama anymore. But even they have shifted to, hey, we got to put points up, and if you remember that Vanderbilt put up 40 points in that Alabama game, Alabama put up 35. You're right there. That's kind of what the game has turned into. I don't think Clark likes that. We know that Saban doesn't like that either. But man, that's what it's about now. And yeah, he'll take a little bit of a step back, but then he's still going to have his fingerprints on it, Drew. It's like Kalen DeBoer's offense under Ryan Grubb this year, right? This is still going to be a lot of Kalen DeBoer in that offense. It's still going to be a lot of Clark Lee, and I guarantee you, if something goes wrong within a game, Clark might retake that headset, especially in a big SEC game. So, the defense will be fine. I think they'll be better. The linebacker room is really deep. But as important as Pavia in this offense is, Drew, it's really important for this team to create as many turnovers as they did last year to keep them in games.
I know we laugh at it. We laughed at it as the New Mexico State Commodores and stuff. But how big of an impact was it last year? I mean, to have Jerry Keel and Tim Beck, to bring both of them with
them to Vanderbilt and Diego, but to have Jerry Kiel, who, by the way, I still say he's underrated because had not been for health concerns, he had Minnesota going, New Mexico, but health concerns.
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, he can't be a head coach because it eats away his body too much.
Mm-hmm.
How big of it was to have both of them be on that staff at Vanderbilt?
It was everything. It was absolutely everything to this team. As soon as Jerry Kiel came in, immediate culture shift, especially offensively with that offensive line. There was a clip. I don't know if you guys saw the SEC featured video kind of outlining Vanderbilt's season a little bit. They showed a lot of the Virginia Tech game. And, man, Jerry Kiel was animated before that game, and there were some curse words in there, and he's exactly what they needed, a lot like Pavia. Vanderbilt hasn't seen a guy like Pavia, but I don't think this football program under Clark Lee had seen a coach like Jerry Kiel. That this was a young staff before Kiel came in, as well as Tim Beck. Those are two older guys that have a lot of football under their belt. Tim Beck was a great Division II coach at Pitt State, won a lot there, and he's got a unique style, unique approach to offense. And man, it's a family approach. Like Beck, Kiel, and Pavia have been working together for 3 years. Throw Stowers in there, throw a couple other New Mexico State guys in there. You know, Beck was the first guy to come, and then Kiel said, "Hey, I'm coming with you." And then Kiel convinced Pavia, and then Pavia convinced Stowers, and you get a couple other guys from New Mexico State as well. But I don't want to give them, they deserve a ton of credit. But I think Clark Lee deserves a lot of credit as well for seeking those guys out. After New Mexico State beat Auburn last year, Clark said, "Hey, I want that. I want that offense. Whatever it takes for me to get that offense here to Nashville, I'm going to do it." And credit for him. He flew out to Las Cruces and met with Beck, and Kiel was there with him as well. And it's really interesting to see how it all panned out. And the moment I knew that this was going to work, that they were going to have a good season and have some fun, with the Virginia Tech game. They knew they had to make a statement that game, and Pavia burst out onto the scene. And after the game, Kiel and Clark embraced with a huge hug, and you just knew how much it meant to both of them. And Kiel has helped Clark Lee a lot grow. Kalen DeBoer probably is a guy similar in this role right now, where maybe there is some learning. There's obviously some learning. Obviously, after last year, every coach has to hit a point where they seek help, right? And Clark Lee did that with Kiel, and man, it's been absolutely massive.
Okay, and Billy, now that's kind of a good segue, though. They could have a better roster this year, and yet they're not going to sneak up on anyone. How does the schedule, in your mind, set up for them? And of course, Diego wants to win a championship, but I think if they got back to postseason, and it would be gargantuan if they could win another postseason game, because let's not forget they beat Georgia Tech, won a bowl game. But what, in your mind, is the expectation for Vanderbilt, and how does the schedule set up?
Well, their expectation is the college football playoff, like you mentioned. My expectation, and I think most Vanderbilt fans' expectation, is postseason. Like you mentioned, get back to the postseason. And winning bowl games, it's not important for every program. There's probably a lot of programs that could care less about, if they don't make the playoffs, they could care less about winning their bowl game. For Vanderbilt at this point, I think that does matter. The schedule, Drew, is tough as always. They do have one of the tougher schedules in the league. It's not. I like to make fun of Tennessee's schedule. It's not a Tennessee schedule, but they got to play a couple of teams on the road that they beat last year. At Virginia Tech, week 2. At Alabama, October the 4th. Those to me are games that, look, Virginia Tech's not great. They fired Chris Marv, their defensive coordinator, who was actually a Vanderbilt guy, played at Vandy. That was a shock. I don't think they are a great team, but that's a team that'll be motivated, and they're not going to want to lose to Vandy again. Obviously, at South Carolina, Vanderbilt hasn't beat them since 2007. So that's going to be tough. Georgia State, you can't count out the Panthers, right? They beat them last year, so that's not going to be easy. Utah State, I don't think is great. That should be a win. I mentioned at Alabama, not going to be easy, right? I do think, guys, people have asked me about that game. They're like, "Hey, can Vandy do it again?" I'm like, well, I'm not betting on it, but I don't think it's going to be 59-0 like we saw 4 or 5 years ago. I think Vanderbilt has the respect. They will have the respect of Alabama. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see that, and Pavia is not going to be scared. He's undefeated playing in the state of Alabama, so that'll be up for grabs. But LSU comes to town. I don't love LSU this year, but I think that could be a game that Vanderbilt could compete in. Not betting on it. Missouri, I'm not buying Missouri, guys. I think that's a game Vanderbilt can win. They should have beat them last year, so I think that's the game they can win at Texas. Not betting on that one. Auburn, I'm tempted to say that's a lock right now. The way Pavia has owned 2 frees, guys. Kentucky's not great. There's some winnable games on the schedule, SEC games at Tennessee. I've said on our station, guys, and people have gotten on me for this take, I think that's a winnable game for Vandy and Knoxville. I think by that point, I could be, call me crazy for that. I just think Tennessee by the end of the season next year could be in danger of not falling apart, but having some issues. I think it'll be a down year for Tennessee. I think 7 wins, maybe 8. That could be a reasonable goal. But yeah, like you said, their goal is playoff. And man, would that be something?
Well, I love your take on Tennessee, Billy. I will say this: that's and I hope you're right. Nothing would please me more than Tennessee to fall apart. But everybody knows how much I love the Vols. But great stuff, man. I know it's been your. Go ahead.
People drive me crazy. About that take. I'm just like, they lost so much on the offensive line.
Right.
They lose Dylan Sampson.
Right.
They lost a lot on defense. They still have a good defensive line. I'm not saying they'll be a disaster, but look, you lose that much, that's going to be tough to replace. Now, Heupel can still run a good offense, and they'll have a high ceiling, but I don't think they'll be the same team they were last year.
Well, we certainly respect your thoughts and your intel. Great stuff in your maiden voyage here on 97.7 The Zone. Let everybody know how to follow you. Yes. And, of course, Vandy 247 and what you're doing with the George Plaster Show.
Appreciate it, guys. Billy Derrick 10 on Twitter. The George Plaster Show. We're on 94.9 The Fan in Nashville, so you can look us up on YouTube, also online, and then Vandy247.com, covering them during the season. Drew, hope to see you in another game. I'm going to try to get down to Tuscaloosa for that one, so we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, yes, sir, man. Look forward to seeing you. Have a great rest of your afternoon and morning, bud.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, let's get it's 8:21. Let's get a break in. Woo! Live from Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call. I'll see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Ozzy Osbourne bringing back sad news yesterday.
We lost the Wizard of Oz, and I know that's usually for Ozzie Smith, but still. We lost, one of the icons of rock and roll and metal, and one of the greatest vocalists of all time, Ozzy Osbourne. We lose him yesterday at 76 years old.
How ironic is it, though, that he just gets done with he goes on, performs
like
with
3
Black
weeks
Sabbath.
ago or something? Yeah. His farewell concert.
His farewell concert there. He performs with them, and then he passes away. It's like it was just. Oh,
it was he had two parts to his career. He rose to fame with Black Sabbath, and then due to he had disagreements, he had the substance abuse issues, but he had that that acrimonious split from Black Sabbath. But then his wife Sharon basically saved his career, and he had a rebirth as a solo artist and was just a mega star. So, and then reality television in the last third of his life.
That's right. I forgot about that. Kelly, Jack.
That's one of the first times I've ever heard the term "heating the toilet" on a bus.
We could go on and on about how just the Big Ten just keeps putting their foot in their mouth after it was day one, guys.
Yeah.
There's 2 more days of the Big Ten media days. And Tony Petitti yesterday says, this was another good one from yesterday. Folks, the hits just keep on coming. If you're 6-3 in the Big Ten, I would argue that's a good record.
Yeah.
If you stumble in the non-conference, I don't know why that would disqualify you from playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
6-3 in the Big Ten is a good record.
But you ain't got a chance in hell of making the playoff.
Oh, he thought they did?
Well, he needs to stop, drinking the Kool-Aid with whatever it's spiked with. I mean, come on. If you're saying 6-3 should get a Big Ten school in, then what the hell happened to Alabama and friggin' and Ole Miss and South Carolina?
I agree. I'm just going by what they were saying yesterday and what Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, was saying yesterday. It's you cannot make this stuff up that was coming out of yesterday. You can't make it up.
Well, they were making it up. Whatever they were doing.
By the way,
Iowa
last year was 6-3 in the Big Ten, and they had a non-conference. They had a non-conference loss to Iowa State.
But didn't we figure out that the punter had more yards than the offense?
Yes. Well, that was 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago where the punter outgained the offense?
Yes.
Oh, and then the athletic director put
8-4.
Son on the road.
They were 8-4 last year with their best win over Minnesota.
Okay.
And Tony Petitti was saying that a 6-3 league team Iowa did not deserve to get in. They were 6-3 last year. They would not. No way in good creation should they have even been think of in the playoffs.
Oh boy,
that's just how ironic. How ironic it is. Just kind of funny. Hey, Jim Phillips yesterday. How about the ACC commissioner?
The Bush League.
Here's Bush League propaganda.
There we go.
The ACC regular season promises to be a relentless battle as teams will once again compete for the opportunity to earn a coveted spot in the ACC football championship game played at Bank of America Stadium right here in Charlotte. This game continues to stand as one of college football's premier events, features the top 2 teams in the ACC, and consistently delivers riveting moments and national significance. In the first 20 games, 14 different ACC programs have competed for the title, more than any other Power 4 conference, a reflection of the depth, balance, and strength that defines ACC football. And make no mistake, this event has major national implications. In 10 of the last 13 seasons, the game's winner has reached the college football playoff or national championship game. Last year, and for the second time in league history, both of our participating teams earned a spot in the CFP, making the ACC one of only 3 multi-bid leagues.
There you go. The ACC wants a seat at the big boy table. Basically, to me, what it's sounding like is the SEC and the Big Ten are 1-2 or 2-1. You could argue, however you want to put it. The ACC thinks they are number 3, and the Big 12 is number 4 in this pecking order. But the ACC wants a seat in the top 3 of America.
Well, I just think it's 1. Pause. 2. And then, what is it? The yodeler again, where we're on the Price is Right, where you just fall off. Yeah, that's
falls
what
off
it is.
the cliff.
That falls off the cliffhanger. That's what it is for the rest of it.
Okay,
it's all a bunch of cliffhanger, yodel, and then you fall off. Because remember, we screwed it up the other day. You can't go over. The price can't be over when the Price is Right. You got to be, close enough without going over. You know what I'm saying?
I should have mentioned this when we were talking about Ozzy Osbourne, but Chipper Jones put out a story yesterday remembering Ozzy.
Oh, okay.
And he says he's saddened to hear the passing of Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
He goes, I feel Ozzy and I will forever be linked due to his song Crazy Train, because that was his walk-up song.
It was, yeah.
And he says, quick story, facing the Mets at home, I walk to the plate and say, hey, Mike Piazza, and how's it going? Mike responds by saying, I'm doing fine, Larry, but I hate this effing song.
Larry.
Chipper turns around and says, well, get ready, cuz you're going to hear it about 5 times today.
I love Chipper. He hates the Mets as much as I do.
But that's the story he put out on Twitter yesterday.
I love it.
Remembering Ozzy Osbourne.
And then I got to quote our good friend Brian Matthews, who made an appearance on the show this week.
Yes.
With the info coming out that now House attorneys have reached a deal with the Power Conference and NCAA officials that will alter the College Sports Commission relating to how NIL collectives can pay athletes. The CSC is expected to treat collectives in a similar fashion as other businesses. And what did Brian Matthews say? He never minces words.
Right.
He said, for Auburn, this means they need to pivot. In all caps.
Pivot. Well, because remember yesterday he said, and I flat out say he did not see, because Hugh Freeze was talking about, we're going to be playoffs expectations, and Brian flat out said yesterday, I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So pivot, the new word of the day, pivot. All right, we're going to pivot into a break. Because when we come back, we're going to pivot into another conversation. Oh, look, I see some pancakes with butter up there on the to-go. They're not mine, but I see them from here. And I can
last 30 minutes of the show, Scott, and then we'll
forget. I thought about going French toast, but no, we're back to pancakes. We're going pancakes. All right, Metro Diners, where we're at this morning on a Wednesday. Going to hit the pause button. We're going to talk more college football coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices climbing into the lower triple digits. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. We only drop into the mid-70s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. Heat indices climbing into the lower triple digits with a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Trudy Armand. We're live from Metro Diner along Highway 72 in Madison. The breakfast cooking. Folks, get on out here and enjoy some great breakfast here from Metro Diner. Jonathan Gorey and company doing it right often here. Oklahoma trying to get it right. They got a big hire. They have a huge hire to come up with, and that is the athletic director position, because, I mean, they're trying to replace a legend, I guess you could say, in that department.
Yeah, and Joe Castiglione. And our next guest, how apropos that we were just talking and reminiscing about Ozzy Osbourne, one of the legends of music, passing away at 76 yesterday. And our next guest, who's a beat writer for OU Insider, part of the On3 and Rivals Network, also has a band of his own. Just another tidbit I just found out. He's a first-time guest, just like Billy Derrick in the second hour. We've featured his boss/colleague, Brandon Drum. He is from OU Insider, and it's Jesse Crittenden. Jesse, welcome to the show. Good morning. How are you?
Appreciate you guys. It feels good to be on for the first time, and I appreciate the shouting out my band, especially in the same breath as Ozzy Osbourne. I know you're not making a comparison there, but it still felt good. So I appreciate that.
Hey, I mean, you just released some music, so hey, you guys are doing something right.
Yeah.
And so, is it Brujo? Is that how you say it?
Close, Brujo.
Brujo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brujo.
There'd be some people getting on me about that.
Well,
most people don't get it right the first time, but you guys were close.
Okay.
Give us your thoughts on Oklahoma in Atlanta. How did it come off? How did they present themselves? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, Brent Venables, I think, again set the record this year for the longest opening statement. I think he went 17 minutes. That's pretty normal for him. But I think it's because there's a lot to say, and it feels like an OU. It's certainly never boring. It feels like every season is the biggest deal ever. But for this year, there really is. There's just so much on the line. I mean, when you go 6-7 2 of the last 3 years, and you go 6-7 your first year in the SEC, there's a lot of pressure on this season for things to turn right. Not only just for Brent Venables, but for this program as a whole. And I think their appearance at SEC Media Days, they really highlighted just how much change this program has undergone over the last several months. I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a program that's gone under more change than them. And that's, they bring John Mateer also to SEC Media Days. He was one of the biggest additions of the off seasons, one of the biggest changes. And I think they talked a lot about trying to get the offense back in the right direction. The offense was one of the worst in all of college football last season. And I think there's a lot of hopes that John Mateer, that new offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle, can turn things around in that regard. And I think there's a confidence from them that if they can just get the offense going, if you pair that with a defense that they're hoping takes another step forward this fall, that'll translate to more wins on the field. But yeah, I mean, I think you heard them express some confidence, but I think you also hear them express a sense of urgency that this year there's a lot on the line, and at some point they've just got to go win some games.
No question about that. And I talked to Brandon down there. And we just talked some OU. But I'll just say this: he brought up Baker Mayfield and John Mateer in the same sentence, and what I mean by that is like impact on a program. We remember when years ago when Baker came over from Texas Tech and had to sit out, but then of course took over as the QB, and it was wildly successful for Oklahoma under Bob Stoops. So think what's the expectation for John Mateer? Seems to be off the charts. I know, there was some consternation that the Jackson Arnold era didn't go well, but this was a huge pivot. And of course, bringing in a guy like, and I asked Brent Venables about this in the main room, about bringing in the staff and Jim Nagy to help with the personnel aspect of this program.
Yeah, I think that Baker Mayfield and John Mateer connection or those similarities have really been highlighted over the last few months. I think even within people in that program. Now, I mean, I think there's some differences too, but I think there's a lot of similarities between them, both on and off the field. I think on the field, the hope of bringing John Mateer in was for his explosiveness. I mean, those Baker Mayfield offenses at Oklahoma were known as some of the most explosive offenses in college football. If you look at what John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle did at Washington State last year, I mean, by the metrics, this is not only one of the most productive offenses, but particularly one of the most explosive offenses in the country. I mean, he was in the top 10 in yards per completion last year. I think he was in the top 6 in passes of 30 yards or more completed. And when you compare that to what Oklahoma did last season, I mean, they didn't even average 10 yards per completion last season. They were basically in the bottom 20 and basically every offensive stat you can think of. I think there's just a hope that John Mateer immediately raises the ceiling of this offense and I think injects some explosiveness into it. And then I think off the field, they brought John Mateer in, I think, to change the culture and to be a guy that everybody galvanizes around. I think that's one thing that, especially last season, whether it was Jackson Arnold or whether it was Michael Hawkins on the field, that there just wasn't a guy that I think everybody wanted to play for. There wasn't a guy that really injected energy and really was a leader in setting the tone for how things happen, not only just on game days, but, in practices leading beforehand. And that was maybe Baker Mayfield's best attribute, even despite everything he did on the field. So I think they're hoping not only John Mateer just brings some explosiveness, but I think off the field, they're hoping they have a guy that is the true leader that everybody, both offense and defense, and even coaches can kind of lean on that guy to kind of set the tone. And I think when you talk to people around the program the last few months, that's what he's done. And I think I think having that, I think they're hoping translates into more success on the field.
Yeah, and Brent Venables is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Does he have this defense where he wants it now? I mean, obviously you make that adjustment to the SEC. It's going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to play a little bit different, a little bit more physical sometimes. Does he have this defense where he wants it?
I think it is certainly a lot closer than it was when he got to town in 2022. I mean, the defense has made really, really huge jumps every year his first 3 years. That's kind of been the thing that even as things have kind of gone sideways in terms of wins or losses, I think that's the thing that people continue to point to is that it's been the offense. I mean, last year, as bad as the offense was, the defense was really, really good for most of the year. I mean, they finished top 25 in basically every metric. They were really, really stout defending the run. They generated really, really good pass rush on opposing quarterbacks. I think you still saw areas every now and then where there can be improvement, particularly giving up big passing plays. That was kind of an Achilles heel for them last year. But I think you've not only seen the defense improve more and more, but I think you're seeing guys who have been in the system 2 to 3 years. I think you're seeing them make jumps too. And make no mistake, the Lincoln Riley era, comparing that and what the defensive expectations and just everything they did on defense then compared to now is vastly different. I mean, I think that's in some ways there's been a huge, huge learning curve. But I think going into this year, I mean, they lost a couple of key leaders from last year in Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman, but they have a lot of returning production from a year ago. They've got some guys that are now entering year 4 in Brent Venables' system, playing key roles. And I think there's an expectation that even though they lost a couple of guys, that this defense can maintain or maybe even take a step forward. And I think some of that is not only just more and more continuity, guys that have been in the system, but now this is the 4th recruiting cycle that Brent Venables has been able to recruit guys specifically tailored to his system. So I think it's been a work in progress, but I do think their hope is if the offense is even just average, which would be a big jump from last year. But if the offense just improves almost by default because it was so bad last year and because they brought in John Mateer and some other guys, that if you pair that with a defense that has more continuity, that has more guys tailored to the system, that even with as difficult as the schedule is, that should just translate into more wins.
And then, of course, we're talking to Jesse Crittenden, OU insider, part of On 3 and Rivals, to kind of circle back to offensively. We know a big part of the problem. Of course, the health of the wide receiver core was hugely important. They've got to be healthier there, but also we weren't used to seeing the poor offensive line play at OU. And then the running game, they've got to create some balance. Now, Mateer, he rushed for nearly over 800 yards himself last year. How improved is the O-line and the running game going to be in your mind?
I think if the wide receiver room just doesn't die like it did last year, I think that would be room for improvement. I mean, basically all of their top 5 guys last year missed most or all of the season at wide receiver. So I think if they're just healthy, there will be some improvement out there. Now, having said that, I mean, a couple of their top guys at wide receiver, and Giovanni Gibson and Jaden Gibson, both are still dealing with injuries. Jaden Gibson missed all of last season, and he's still recovering. Giovanni Gibson suffered a broken leg at the end of spring. They need those 2 guys healthy, but if they can get them back by the time the season starts, I think there's confidence there. On the offensive line, they added a couple of guys in the offseason. They added Derek Simmons out of Western Carolina. They added Jake Michla out of Stanford. The Michla addition was particularly huge. So I think they feel good about a couple of veterans they've added. I think there's still some question marks just because they're going to be leaning on some young guys. Now, those young guys are talented. I mean, they've got Michael Pasusi. He was a 5-star recruit in the 2025 class. They've got, a couple other guys like Eddie Pierre-Louis, Ryan Foje, 4-star prospects that I think they're hoping can make a difference. So, I mean, I think the ceiling, again, kind of like the offense as a whole, I think the ceiling for the offensive line is higher than it was last year, not only because they have more talent, but I think you're hoping surely they will be healthier than they were last year. But, yeah, I mean, I think there is still some question marks, both at offensive line and wide receiver, and I think that's part of why you go get not only John Mateer, but you also go get a running back like Jaden Ott, because those are two guys that not only are really explosive. John Mateer's a dual threat guy, but I think both of those guys can kind of create something out of nothing. I don't think they need really, really big holes on every single play to make stuff happen. Jaden Ott in particular, I think he averaged 3.6 yards after contact in 2023. He was a guy that was constantly, taking the first hit and kept his legs churning. So I think those are two guys that, even if the offensive line isn't elite, or even if it isn't a top 5 group in the SEC, that you're hoping that if they can just give you enough, if they can stay healthy enough, that those two guys can be explosive enough to still generate good offense.
We wanted to talk about Oklahoma football, and we're getting a lot of great stuff, but we also want to focus a little bit on the AD search.
Yep.
I know that they've got a committee.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a committee there. Where else do we stand on the search?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that committee was a big announcement for them. I mean, you've got 12 people in that committee, and it's highlighted by not only really, really big names, but really interesting names. I mean, you've got Randall Stevenson, who's the chair of football. He was the CEO at AT&T for a long time. He was hired as a executive assistant a few months ago and has risen up the ranks quickly, not only to be the chair of football, but to be the leader of this search committee. But this committee has a ton of interesting names. I mean, you've got Bob Stoops, the former legendary head coach of the football program. You've got Sherry Cole, who's probably the most well-known women's basketball coach at Oklahoma. You've got Sam Bradford, who won the Heisman Trophy in 2008. So those are really interesting names. But you look up and down the list, I mean, they've even got Kinsey Hansen, who won 4 national championships on the softball program, or in the softball program at Oklahoma. So it's interesting to hear, or it's interesting to see all these different backgrounds and the type of names that they've got. They kind of encompass a wide area of expertise, both playing experience, coaching experience, a bunch of different sports. You've got some people within the administration who are more, maybe managerial, and I think all of this kind of shows that the real, not only seriousness in terms of how important they know this hire is, but also I think trying to canvas a wide array of opinions, because as we all know, I mean, the athletic director role is just different than it was when Joe Castiglione was hired in 1998. There's a lot of different ways you could go with this. Do you go with, someone who has traditional athletic director experience? Do you go for someone who has experience just in college in general, whether that's a player or someone else in the administration, or do you go someone with more managerial experience, obviously, as NIL and revenue sharing becomes more and more in the mix. But it's clear, I think, not only are they taking this really seriously and trying to have a lot of different opinions, but the reality is they haven't had to do this in a long time. I mean, someone asked me the other day, hey, is this normal, to have a 12-person search committee? And I was like, I don't know, because Oklahoma hasn't had to do this in 30 years. So I think they realize how important this hire is for a bunch of different reasons. And I think some of these names on this committee are both interesting, and also, someone like Bob Stoops, who's continued to be around the program or around the athletic department in general since he retired. So, I mean, I think they're showcasing how serious they are and just how important this hire is.
Well, great stuff. First time on the show. And of course, he did a great job. Of course, he works for Brandon Drum, OU Insider, which is part of On3 and Rivals. He's the beat reporter for the Sooners. We look forward to continuing to connect with him. And again, good luck to Brujo as you've released this music just in the last few days. We hope your band continues to do well. But you did a great job. We look forward to continuing to connect with you and talk Sooners as we are entering year 2 in the Southeastern Conference for Oklahoma football, Jesse. But thank you for the time, and let everybody know how to connect with your work.
Hey, anytime. I appreciate you guys. You can always follow me on Twitter at Jesse Crittenden. You can go to our website at On3, our OU Insider website. We'll have all types of content heading in the next few days as we prepare for the start of fall camp. I mean, practices start on July 31st. So we're basically just a week away. So this is the busy time of year, and then this is going to be the most important football season for OU in quite some time. A lot on the line. So appreciate you guys a lot. Appreciate the Brew Host shout outs, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, let's get that final break in. Wrap it all up next.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
All right, welcome back. We're putting the finishing touches on the show here from Metro Diner.
Impromptu Metro Diner show.
Yeah, it was, but I tell you what.
And we're about to have some impromptu food.
There's nothing impromptu about what we're about ready to eat.
I'm actually shocked you haven't started it already.
I'm ready to go.
Put your order in.
I'm ready to go.
Because a lot of times by 8:45, you're in the middle of finishing off a
couple pancakes.
Well, no, either that
stacks,
or your
short stacks.
Sometimes your omelet.
Oh, the omelet with extra crispy hash browns with no salsa. Oh, I'm about ready to throw it down.
He definitely is, everybody.
Look, we'll be back in studio for the first time in a long time tomorrow. The studio. Remember how to get there?
Yeah.
Take a left, take a left, take a left.
I'm talking about to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Oh, God.
Oh, you can work Beyonce into a
Atlanta
show
memories.
all day long.
Oh, my goodness.
There goes Free Willy.
Oh, my God.
God, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Talkin Ball.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options.